We're live and we're going to talk about an expert warning regarding Bitcoin and altcoins because it looks like Bitcoin is actually up finally. Some of the altcoins are lagging a little bit, but I just kind of have a bit of a different perspective. I mean, when we talk about 4-year cycles, we talk about Bitcoin going to the moon and then some of that capital trickling down into altcoins and then some of the more risky stuff, et cetera. And this is something that we've seen, since whenever in crypto. So we're going to go ahead and kind of talk about a little bit what we're seeing. And remember that Bitcoin and crypto does thrive during economic uncertainty. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the US. We're seeing it on a global scale as well. And we will talk a little bit about Venezuela again, because it is important. Venezuela, which I kind of gave you guys an update yesterday when I streamed about hyperinflation and some of the things that were happening there because of just because of the oil and the government and really kind of everything. And again, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but it's something that's been talked about in crypto historically, is that really the money printing is that money was printed at such a fast rate that we saw hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is generally when you see things increase 50% in about a month. But over in Venezuela, it was really more than hyperinflation. Things went absolutely crazy. I want to say that the stat we talked about yesterday was like 63,000% in 2018, but then it dropped down to like 10,000% in 2019, something along those lines. So their money was consistently being devalued, and that can happen with public policy. It can happen with mostly money printing. And that's it's not the same that we're seeing in the US. We are seeing high levels of inflation. We are seeing absurd amounts of money being printed, but it's a little bit different here, even though the same type of practices are happening. So at the end of the day, let's hope that we get some nice price action, and we hope that we can, stack some things that we like before things get out of control again, hopefully. Anyways, welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto, every single day. I'm WendyO. Make sure to like, drop a comment, subscribe, and set alerts. And shout out to everybody that's watching me on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Twitch. And I've decided I'm not streaming on TikTok anymore. Literally not worth my time. So I won't be streaming there. I'll still be making content there, but not as much as we were in the past, just because it's just a mess over there. So shout out to our channel members, to Mr. R, to Mr. Mike, to Lawrence. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Dale, Cherry, Gorgeous Alexandra, Happy New Year, girl. To Mr. John Germain, Mr. Gumby, who else? And also, you guys, give a big welcome to Magic Blues 81. Welcome to the O Army. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. As you guys know, if you become a channel member, we give you special shout outs. Who else? Mr. Legend and Sparkwater. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, bye TikTok. Seriously. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. And for those of you that have parents, or those of you that are parents, if it was your kid's first day back at school, I don't care the age, how are you feeling? I couldn't sleep last night. I actually haven't been sleeping well the entire week, but it was a lot this morning. Well, she was actually really good. She's maturing so much and making things easy, but she's just not a morning person. And it was just, I think I was more nervous than she was, because I just wanted to make sure that we were in bed. We got situated and we were in bed by 8 o'clock last night. 8 o'clock, because I wanted to make sure she had a nice, good rest, because she's been traveling like crazy. I've been, traveling too. So I want to make sure she had a good rest, because we've got lots of activities this week. We got 2 birthdays. So happy birthday to my sister and happy birthday to my mom. I think my mom's born on Elvis's birthday. I think so. But anyways, we got to do that this week. Then we've got gymnastics and we got guitar and we have vocals and all this stuff. But let's go ahead and get in the crypto markets, because that's why you guys are here. And also to have a poll at the top. Do you think that we're going to start moving again? Or did we find a local bottom? Or we're going to go upwards? Like, what's going on? So when we do take a look at just the crypto markets in general, it looks like you guys can't see because I'm blocking, but FET and virtual, those are AI coins, I believe, and those are up. So it looks like altcoins are doing okay. Yesterday, meme coins were doing well. And I want to say over the weekend, meme coins, did pretty good, but it looks like they're down a little bit and quality projects are up. And I'm not saying that meme coins are not quality projects, because some of them are, but realistically, I mean, they're called meme coins for a reason. Also, VeChain is up a little bit as well. And when we do take a look at the markets, let's see kind of what's going on. Bitcoin dominance is currently at 59.38%. Sorry, I was stuck on the screen over there. And we're just kind of going sideways. Again, this is the weekly. Let me go ahead and put it over here. Let me put it over here. Bitcoin actually pumped above our area of resistance, which I'm really, really, really excited about. Super, super excited about. Wow. I didn't expect this to happen so fast. So again, I said on the daily, and again, I'm a lazy trader. I'm a lazy investor. I would like to see on the daily for us to be above the EMA 200, which is the green line over here. That's just my personal opinion. I will feel a little bit more comfortable once we're up in that area over there. Now, with that being said, that's the daily. On the weekly, we got that little bit of a breakout. And let's take a look at our Big Daddy Chad chart. Yeah. So over here, we're getting ready to break out. And I want to see really a move above this area here at 94.5. That's what I have. And then we can go ahead and tackle some of the larger some of the smaller EMAs, because again, this is the weekly chart. Ethereum is doing pretty well. Solana looking nice. So some of the majors are moving too. XRP probably had the highest gains, about $2.08, which is wonderful. But we still do need to break above $2.28. Link at about 13.75. ADA looking nicely, 41. HBAR's looking nicely as well. And then where's my VChain over here? Or that's Zcash. So this is what Zcash is looking like. Oh, this is the weekly. Why am I looking at the weekly? Because I do that. All right, and VChain is looking good also. So this looks like a nice area of resistance for us to flip above. So altcoins are looking decent considering, okay? And then this is our expert over here, Mr. Tom Lee. So in this clip over here, Tom Lee says that Bitcoin could reach 250,000 in 2026 if the 4-year cycle breaks. So are we in a 4-year cycle? Are we not in a 4-year cycle? What is actually happening? No one knows. That's the thing. No one knows. We are just here. We are here and we're just kind of watching the markets to see what actually does happen. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this clip, see what Mr. Tom Lee has to say. And again, you guys know me. I have to put stuff on 2 times because I don't have patience.
250,000?
Yeah, you can bleep me out too if I just say the number.
Yeah, that'd be good for you. We don't care. I'm trying to protect you. 250.
Yeah.
$250, not $250, which some people still have.
Yeah. So, in 2026, if Bitcoin gets to 200 or 250,000, it would be breaking the 4-year cycle.
So basically he's just talking, it's nothing really exciting, but he basically is talking about breaking the 4-year cycle and that, essentially we kind of rebound from here and we're not in a bear market. So hopefully that does happen, but we will see. And again, there's a lot different because we do have the institutions involved. That doesn't mean mass adoption is here though. Now, as far as this article from CoinDesk, crypto markets today, Bitcoin climbs to highest level in 4 weeks as altcoins lag. Altcoins actually look pretty decent to me. I mean, we are seeing minimal gains with them, but at the same time, they are moving, which is nice. Like we saw meme coins rock and then we saw altcoins rock and then meme coins rock and altcoins rock. We kind of saw the shift or this back and forth ping pong throughout the entire weekend, if you remember. Apparently around 260 million leveraged futures were liquidated during the rise, mostly shorts, and apparently elevated RSI and CME gap risk of short-term pullback per CoinDesk. So, and also, do you remember if you are not, if you want to take a look at Polymarket, they've got some things over here. What price will Bitcoin hit in January? I really need to log in. I've got like $50 on here, I think. But these are always really interesting to me to see what other people are playing on over here. So, I mean, right now we're really gonna hit that $95,000. That's what it does look like, and then we have some higher areas over here. So we'll see if we do get a pullback. But realistically, when we do take a look at the larger time frame, it looks like we kind of are breaking out against that bearish, not necessarily a bearish range, but just that consolidation range over there. Now, taking a look here. This is from Cointelegraph. Apparently, crypto's total market cap rose from 2.97 trillion to 3.12 trillion today. 5% increase, which is nice. This is a good start to 2026, considering all the craziness that happened. But my pick right now is really Ethereum, just because we've got a couple stories regarding Ethereum. So hold on over here. But this is an article, a CoinDesk article over here. But as far as the fundamentals go with the actual Ethereum tech and what they're doing to the underlying layer is good. And then we have the fundamentals when it does come to the ETFs and the staked ETFs. Because again, remember, we see Solana staked ETFs and those have done incredibly well. But again, I understand money's not flowing directly into Solana yet. be patient. But with Ethereum, the staked ETFs are going to be big, in my opinion, as well. And right now, Ethereum is Wall Street's chosen one. So with that being said, as far as fundamentals go, Vitalik says Ethereum is close to a turning point with Peer DAS and ZK EVM upgrades. Peer DAS is live, and it basically helps nodes check data without downloading everything. ZK EVMs are almost ready, with limited rollout expected in 2026, and upgrades are going to help speed security and decentralization all at once, which I like. He also says that upgrades could make Ethereum a fundamentally new and more powerful decentralized network, solving limits of low bandwidth and throughput while decentralization and consensus. And this is good. This I like, because for a very long time they were not working on their underlying issues with the layer 1, just the layer 2 stuff. And shout out to Lawrence. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Mixing says Zcash looks like silver, because apparently Zcash is dropping a little bit. But again, for a very long time, they focus on the layer 2s, which I got, but I didn't really get. And I'm glad to see that they're actually focusing on the underlying layer 1. And we're hoping for that. If Bitcoin hits 250,000 in 2026, which right now I'm not super optimistic that that's going to happen. But if we do, then I'm going to hope for that $10,000 Ethereum. That's what I'm going to hope for. Now, as far as the ETFs go, Grayscale begins distributing staking rewards to Ethereum ETF investors in landmark moment. And this is good. Shareholders will get 0.083178 per share held, and that will be paid out January 6th. So that's good. We like to see that. And the Ethereum staking ETF is the first Ethereum ETF to pass staking rewards directly through to shareholders. So it's kind of like a dividend over there. I would need to really sit down and do the math and see if that makes sense, but we will, we'll see if that's good investment wise, and how that's going to also impact the DATs as well. Now, as far as Ethereum ETFs, Mr. James, he says the Ethereum ETFs are doing okay considering the price performance of Ethereum, but they've seen 18% of their flows leave. They've now seen around 2.8 billion outflows since their peak of 15 billion right before 10/10 liquidations. Remember the great liquidation that happened on August 10th of 2025. Now, in addition to that, okay, I think Ethereum is going to do well. I think it's going to do well. I'm manifesting. But the XRP and Solana ETFs, as far as inflows and whatnot, those have actually outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum the last quarter of 2025, I believe. Now, Bank of America is out here opening the door to Bitcoin ETF allocations. Was it JP? What was it going on? Was it JP Morgan? Hold on a second. Let me read this. So basically, they now allow advisors to recommend 1 to 4% of allocations to crypto via spot Bitcoin ETFs. Over 15,000 advisors across Merrill, Private Bank, Merrill Edge can make these recommendations without prior client requests. Eligible ETFs include BlackRock, IBIT, Fidelity, Bitwise, and Grayscale Mini Trust. And also, too, really quickly, before I give my opinion here, is that strategy does buy more Bitcoin and increases USD reserves over here. And of course, Michael Saylor had to swing it around and post about it, which we love to see it. But I want to talk a little bit about the financial advisors being able to recommend this, because I think it's really good. And the reason why I think this is really good is because I remember back in, when was it? I think when 2018-ish, because I have a traditional 401k because I had like a real job for a long time. Well, actually, I've been working since I've been 13. So really, really long time. I'm old. But when I was like, hey, can I invest in Bitcoin and crypto, blah, 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 my advisor was like, no, we can't do that here. So they couldn't recommend those products. But I mean, then later on, I ended up meeting Dame over at Dame.io, which I said to some of you guys that are not great traders or investors and need extra help. They've been making Bitcoin and crypto portfolios, like TradFi style portfolios for people for a really long time. And I always recommend them because I've got an account with them. And the reason why I recommend them is because a lot of people are just not good at trading and investing on their own. And our job here is to kind of protect our capital. So that's good. That's very, very good. Now, as far as, the banks actually allowing these types of investment, that's good. And a lot of people are calling this mass adoption, but it's not really mass adoption. Just because a financial advisor is like, hey, you could invest in a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or XRP spot ETF. That's not really mass adoption. Being able to actually utilize these assets in broader forms is to me. And again, one of the reasons why I don't plan to sell my Bitcoin is because I want to be able to use that as collateral for property, for land, for different things like that, instead of having to use my cash. I want to take that asset and then, take debt out on it, like the rich people do, like the elites do. I have something in my nose. So there's that. Now, what's next? In Venezuela, apparently there is a Bitcoin-friendly leader that's a Bitcoin advocate, and she is the second favorite to lead Venezuela behind Edmundo. They're saying in this post here that she could restore political freedoms and promote free market reforms, including the use of Bitcoin as alternative to their currency, the Bolivar. I hope I pronounced that right. Trump expressed doubt about the ability to lead, citing lack of respect and support, but analysts say she has strong backing. So we'll see how that goes. One of the things I do want to say is that President Bukele over at El Salvador, he has just done a really, really, really great job over there. As not only as far, like obviously with all the other stuff, because not everything is about Bitcoin and crypto, but more so with, a lot of the social stuff happening, and also the adoption of Bitcoin. And for a long time, everybody was trashing him, especially on crypto Twitter. I'm like, dude, like the country wasn't in good standing. They were having a lot of issues over there. And the fact that he took a risk on Bitcoin, like way back when last cycle, and did his best he could to try to improve the quality of life of his people over there, I thought that was dope. So we'll see what happens in Venezuela. But I do know that people were using Bitcoin way back when for quite some time. This was yesterday. We talked about crude oil prices fell. This is really only $1. It's not kind of significant. And of course, that's going to happen. I also wanted to bring this up over here that was posted yesterday by the Cobb letter. I like them. But basically, it just says U.S. stocks react to Venezuela. It looks like everything's pretty much up. So oil stocks. So I don't know much about oil. I don't plan on getting into any type of oil anything, but I think it is important to note kind of what's happening for those of you that do. Now, another Cobb letter over here. They said, while everyone's focused on oil, Venezuela currently holds 161 metric tons of gold reserves. So there's a lot of controversy really about what happened over there and why this is happening. But it's gold, oil, and obviously the rugs over there. This makes Venezuela the Latin American country with the largest gold holdings. Every $100 of gold that rises, the holdings gain 518 million of value. Controlling Venezuela is set to produce hundreds of billions of revenue for the U.S. Will the U.S. take control of these gold reserves? They will in some sense. This is crazy, though. Like, we're watching some pretty interesting things happening. And I was on TikTok kind of listening to what people are saying, and people are like, hey, like, let's have this. We would love to have this happen to Cuba. I actually had a friend that was Cuban, and he went there to go visit family. And he brought me back, because you're not allowed to bring anything back. He brought me back a little picture from there. I think it was like a wood block one that they did. This is back in like 2005. When it was like crazy, but he went back to go visit his family and stuff like that. Interesting things over there. So I don't know. Now, JP Morgan, we forgot to talk about it this week, but I just kind of wanted to bring this up. This is old. Never mind. I thought that was old. I think what I wanted to remind you is that everybody says that, because this happened in 2020, but I just want to remind you, people say that the stock market is safe. And there's no issues with the stock market, and it's like legitimate, it's safe, you're not going to lose money. But I mean, JP Morgan got caught back in 2020, and they had to pay $920 million for manipulating precious metals and treasury market. So when you're saying crypto is, bad and it's all a bunch of scams, like the fact that they had to pay $920 million for manipulating precious metals and the treasury market, it's probably the damage they did was probably a lot more than that. And this is pennies on the dollar. So this is a little slap on the wrist for them. Just wanted to remind y'all. What else? What else do we have today? What else? This was this morning. The U.S. stock market indices opened sharply higher in their initial reaction to the weekend events. Okay. So it looks like oil is up, stock market's up, everything is up, everything is pumping. Love it. Let's see. Oh, really quickly, with Ledger. So there was a data breach that happened with Ledger. It doesn't impact your private keys. It was a data breach with when you order stuff from them. So it's not the private key. So if you hear anybody saying anything different right now, that's not true. I posted a short for you guys. I did it on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube just to kind of let you guys know what it's doing, but it looks like it was a third-party leak from the payment processor. So it's just names and contact information, which is still incredibly dangerous because of all the wrench attacks that are happening. But the Ledger platform, the wallets, and crypto assets are very secure, and no payment info or private keys were accessed, but name and contact info was, which that can be a little bit worrisome. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that because it is important to know kind of what's happening with that. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's really it. And then plus we have Trump talking about, tariffs and that they're good and blah, 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 whatever. We'll see. We'll see how good tariffs are when we actually start to, when Americans start to actually have more money, as far as the devaluation of our currency doesn't continue to happen, and that, we can actually afford goods and services, and people are actually able to obtain decent jobs. Because right now, that's not it's not happening in any way, shape, or form. And in California, because of all the predatory red tape from our wonderful governor, a lot of big companies are leaving. I think it's Frito-Lay and one of the Budweiser. Quite a few of them are leaving, which is not good. It's actually really, really bad. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. But that's really what's happening today. Bitcoin pumped, and altcoins are lagging a little bit. But other than that, we're just kind of moving along. But I'm going to get going over here. And I got to do some content for you guys. There's some bullish news about the SEC and whatnot. So I'm sending you guys love and light. And I will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. PT. We're back to a normal schedule for now. And then we got news at 2 p.m. PT. And then the news wrap up of the day at 6 p.m. PT. Bye, babies.